What's going on? This is Justincredible, aka Jay Lang, Mr. Lang, Justin Lang, whatever you want to call me. And today I'm coming to you as real as I can. I'm talking about depression and suicidal thoughts. I've had a family member give up on life and stop taking their medicine intentionally to commit suicide. Me personally, I have had thoughts of suicide dozens of times. This year has been the longest, most concentrated time and most consistent fights that I've had with depression my entire life. Hands down, no question. I've had depression sit on my neck for days at a time, weeks at a time, months at a time, in and out. Times where everything is quote unquote going great in my life, and just randomly I'm just like, dude, this ain't got nothing to do with me. I feel like it's just beating me up, holding me, tugging on to me, and just trying to hold me down. I've had multiple family members die within the past 12 months. I had to bury my grandmother. After I got the call that my grandmother passed, 3 days later, I got the call from my wife stating that she lost her job and we had a $30,000 pay cut. I've been fired, I've been demoted, I've been ignored, I've been lied on. Relationships that have been, that I've been 10, 11, 12 year long relationships, just in a matter of seconds, just gone, cut off. I've been ignored, people act like they don't even know me. I've had supervisors promise me commissions, promise me different benefits, go back on their word. I've had multiple bomb threats at my place of employment, which triggered some past PTSD, marital issues, health challenges, family drama, you name it. I'm no stranger to this thing called depression. I know what it's like to feel weighted down, to have foggy thoughts, and you can't even focus. You can't even focus on your emails at work and just do your job properly. I know what it's like to just feel just empty, like a zombie, like you only have enough mental or emotional energy to just go to work, barely get it done, hanging on by a thread. You drive back home, you eat, take a shower if you can, and then just fall right back on the bed. And just, that's the only thing that you can do for the day. You've given up, like you just barely have enough energy. I know what it's like to get dressed, about to go on a date with my wife, and just this feeling of dread comes on you before you even walk through the door, and it's like, hey, don't walk out of this door, and all you want to do is just curl up in a ball and just sit there in silence for hours. This is the realest, one of the realest messages I've ever had to talk about, but we have to talk about this. Life is real. Life is not what you see on TV, what you read in magazines, what you see online, what people post on the internet, on social media. Life is real. There are people, close friends of mine, who have called me up, grown men, and said, Justin, I need you to come to my place right now and pick up my gun, because all last night, all I was doing was thinking about committing suicide, pulling the trigger. There's celebrities that have all the money in the world, millionaires, multimillionaires. They have the status, they have fame, they have beauty, they have amazing physiques. Their spouse are beautiful and it's super attractive. Their children are healthy, their children are super smart. They have all of the connections, their career's going well, they have fame, they got a legacy, they've made history, and these people are still jumping off roofs, off balconies. People, those same people that you think would have it all, internally, externally, living their best lives, they're the ones taking pills, overdosing, blowing their brains out. So what the heck is going on? It's not what we see on the outside, which are tearing people's lives up or influencing them to take their own lives. It's something internally, and we have to talk about it. So I know a little bit about depression and what I have learned. I want to share it with you. Anyone that you think is possibly going through suicidal thoughts or heavy long-term bouts with depression, please share this video. Please stop and call 911 if you need to, if they're a threat to themselves or they feel like they're in danger. If you feel like they're in danger, please do not take it lightly. What I have learned about suicide and what I have learned about depression, it's not an instantaneous thing. You're not just playing video games, or you're not just watching TV, someone gives you bad news, someone says someone dies, or you just lost your job, or something happens in a relationship, someone dies. It doesn't happen that exact same minute. You don't go to try to slit your wrist or jump off a roof or something like that. It doesn't happen that way. People don't immediately go hang themselves. They're not happy 1 second and literally the next second want to do harm or danger to themselves. It happens slowly. It's different areas of your life at the same time. It's this day, that day, Monday something happened, Tuesday something happened, Tuesday night something happened, Wednesday during the day something happened, Thursday at lunch happened. It's a constant, consistent web that people get tangled in. You just don't trip, fall on your face. It's a web that gets you all messed, that tries to mess you all up and take all of your emotional, all your mental hope and just turn you hopeless. You can't think of it as like a boxing match where it's, hey, you punch me, I'm trying to be Mike Tyson and I'm gonna knock you out. All I gotta do, first round knockout. It's not that. It's more like an MMA fight. It's something where you have to set your mind on, this is long term. I'll fight you forever. This is 15 rounds, 30-minute rounds each. You have to put them in a guillotine. You have to put them in a rear naked choke, and you got to hold on for as long as depression is troubling you. You have to stay on consistent and tangle yourself up out of the chokehold that it may have on you. This is a long-term thing. This is not a instantaneous fight, and this is not an instantaneous victory. So with that being said, I don't have all of the answers, but these are things that help me when it comes to depression and overcoming it, at least for the day. These are things that help me. If you know someone who is battling with depression and suicidal thoughts, please call 911 if necessary. Please call a licensed professional if necessary. Please share this video with them. Thank you. Number one, you need to recognize what you're thinking about when you start feeling depression come on you. Is it your finances? Is it relationships with family members? Is it coworkers? Is it stress on your job? Is it your marriage? Whatever. Is it health challenges you're thinking of? What are you thinking of when you feel depressed? You have to make sure that you are tracking these patterns that are going on in your mind. If you don't analyze your own thoughts, you won't see the patterns when depression comes on you, and you don't know how to fight it. You won't know how to fight it. Is it a certain place that you get to and that's when you feel depression on you? Is it certain times in the holiday season, sometimes Thanksgiving, Christmas, or maybe the summertime when it reminds you of a breakup or what have you? Make sure that you're just checking your thought patterns. When do I get depressed? Because it normally ends up being some of the same themes as to why you're feeling the way that you are feeling. Make sure you check that. Number two, you need to accept what you can and what you cannot change. Whatever you can control as a part of that web that you're coming out of, you work with it. Everything. When you start to try to unravel yourself try to get yourself out of this lock or this chokehold that depression has on you or suicidal thoughts have on you, start peeling back every single layer. Well, in my health, what can I change? Can I change my diet? Can I change my sleeping patterns? Can I change the way that I do my job, the way that I show up on time at work so I don't get fired, so I don't have this anxiety in me? Maybe when it comes to my sales process at work, maybe I can do a better job and improve and study and get some coaching on my job so I don't dread or feel depressed or feel like I'm gonna get fired and lose all my money. Is it something that you can change in your relationship with someone? You can treat them nice, you can speak to them in a better tone, what have you, you can apologize. Or if it's something that someone else needs to do and you can't force them to do anything, you have to just solidify, accept what you can control and what you can't control. And whatever you can control, make sure you do it. It relieves the stress off of you, it relieves the weights on you, and you're not wasting time and energy mentally and emotionally on things that you, again, you have no power over. Number 3, make sure you stay in daily contact with supportive, optimistic, positive, and loving people. Whether that's family members, whether that's co-workers, whether that's friends, people in your neighborhood, people in whatever communities that you are, you gotta stay with day ones. You gotta stay with real people. You gotta stay with people who love you unconditionally. They accept who you are. They're not trying to necessarily change you. They're not trying to get things out of you. They love you for who you are and not what you can do for them. Those who are optimistic and say, hey, look, you can bounce back from this failed relationship. You can bounce back from this career failure, for your business failing, for you going into bankruptcy. Whatever the situation is, these people believe in you. They want the best for you. They want to see you reach your highest potential. You need to stay around those people. The ones who will pick up the phone 3 o'clock in the morning. The ones who are always texting you. If they know that you're going through something, they're going to go that extra mile to check in with you once or twice a day. Those are the ones that at a drop of a dime, they can stop something to support you. Those are the ones that will tell you the truth, even if it hurts you. It's because they love you and they want to help you. They want to see you do better. They want you to reach your highest potential. Those are the ones that you have to stay by. You have to check in with them even when you don't feel like it. Allow them to check in with you. Make sure you're staying by your day ones at all times. Stay by positive, optimistic, supportive, and loving people. That's number 4. As best as you can, you need to prioritize your mental, emotional, and physical health above everything and everyone. Now, I know certain people have children, you have jobs, you have other responsibilities, and maybe sometimes you have to take care of yourself after the kids go to bed. You have to handle certain things for your peace once you leave the job, or once you leave school, or once you're done whatever community service that you're mandated to do, or whatever your situation is. Handle the responsibilities that you absolutely have to do. Those type of activities or those responsibilities that if you don't do it, your situation will actually be worse. Handle those first. Those are top priorities. But after that, if it stretches you too thin, say no. It's not worth it. If it stresses you out, if it gets you feeling depressed, if it gets you feeling anxious, if it's any type of family, relationship, friend type of drama, any type of just foolishness is going on, cut it off. Whether that means certain people you have to block, you have to mute online, people that you just don't want to see or even be involved with, certain parties, certain neighborhoods you can't go to, certain class reunions or family reunions that you can't do. If you can't handle it, if you know you can't handle it, it's stressing you out and you feel overwhelmed, you gotta say no until you get things straight within you. You have to prioritize it above everything else. You can't save everyone. And if someone else is going through some trouble, it's good to help them out. But again, if it's at the expense of losing your peace, and if it's at the expense of you being depressed or feeling suicidal or feeling super anxious or overwhelmed, you gotta prioritize yourself, your mental health, your emotional health, your physical health above everything. And while I'm on the topic, if you're doing drugs, if you're smoking cigarettes, if you're smoking, drinking, or doing anything that's illegal or anything that's toxic on you, energy drinks, excessive sugary beverages or what have you, anything that's not good for your health. I'm talking diet, I'm talking exercise, I'm saying drink water, I'm saying live a healthy lifestyle, fruits and vegetables, eat as clean as possible, because that does play into part your moods and how your body feels. And if you're bloated and you're always on the toilet or whatever, if you're throwing up, if you're doing drugs that are clouding and altering your mind, it's not helping you. Please prioritize your mental, emotional, and physical health above everything. Number 5, even if it hurts, make sure that you practice gratitude and thankfulness for life and for the little things. As hard as that may seem, sometimes you can only just say, look, I'm just thankful that I'm alive. But the truth be told, there are people that at the beginning of this video, they're not alive anymore. Just that quick. There's some people today, there's some people mid-sentence as I'm talking, they just passed away in the hospital. They have no opportunity for a better life. Technically, they don't have anything to be thankful. They're not here anymore. So don't take life for granted. Appreciate that you have an opportunity to overcome depression, to overcome suicidal thoughts. Be thankful that you can hear, that you have your sanity, that you can see, that you can walk, that you can bring positive change to your situation and someone else's situation. Even if it's something where you just got to say one thing, I'm just grateful that I'm alive. Even if you don't feel like it, you have to say it. Do something to focus on the positivity, because throughout time, what you're doing is you're programming your mind to think of the positive and to think optimistically, and to be grateful and to be thankful, as opposed to being negative, pessimistic, and just feeling defeated or hopeless in the situation. Make sure that you are focusing on the good and try to be thankful even if it hurts you. Number 6, realize that if you end your life, you will never have a chance at making a better life or living a better life. You have survived and overcome 100% of all of your bad days. Suicide is a permanent decision on a temporary problem. If you have health challenges, if you kill yourself, you'll never see the possibility of health, of healing or getting better in your situation. If you had a failed marriage, a failed relationship, if you kill yourself, you will not allow yourself, you cut off the possibility of bouncing back or possibly getting back or reunited or reconciled with the person, or bouncing back and having a positive relationship with yourself. If that was an abusive relationship, you can never see yourself healed. You can never see yourself loving yourself past any abuse or any pain that's happened in your past. If you cut off your life, you will never be able to bounce back financially or become a success. If someone died and you kill yourself because a close loved one or relative passed, a close friend of yours died, you will never have the opportunity of living in their honor and doing good and being an example and making them proud. If you end it, there are no more options. If you're listening to me, please, I beg you, please think about it. Suicide is a permanent decision on a temporary problem. There's always possibilities. Even if you did something wrong and you feel like, oh my God, I'm about to go to jail for the rest of my natural born life. I'm going to go to prison. I'm so embarrassed. I've done the most heinous crime ever. Realize that even in prison, you can impact people's lives. You can change internally. You can change mentally. You can still do good. You still have a possibility to right wrongs, certain wrongs that you've done in your life. But if you take your life, you have no shot at righting any wrongs or doing anything good with your last days and with your last breaths of air in this earth. Please consider and realize that if you cut your life short, you have no opportunity to see how this thing plays out, because it can get better. Number 7, you need to cultivate and invest in your relationship with yourself. You are taking you wherever you go. You might as well get used to it. You are going to be with you for the rest of your life. So enjoy your alone time. Make sure that you appreciate who you are, you value who you are, you treat yourself. You're talking to yourself positive, you're prepping yourself, you're coaching yourself, you're doing good things for yourself. Every once in a while you splurge. You buy something nice for yourself. Take yourself out. Go on vacations. And even in a different perspective, sometimes people, they go so hard, they burn themselves out for work, for other people, for relatives, for family, for friends, for coworkers, for their job, for their church, or what have you, but they never invest in themselves. They never work as hard for their own personal goals. They never do, they make promises and keep it to everyone else, but when it comes to themselves, they let themselves slack. You need to value yourself, invest in yourself so much that you make promises to yourself and you actually keep those promises to yourself. You impress yourself. Make sure that you are appreciating yourself, because there's only one you. You only have one life, one body, one mind, one heart, one soul, one spirit. Make sure that you're appreciating yourself and cultivating and investing in yourself. Love yourself. Even if you are in a bad relationship, love yourself harder than what that person abused you or took advantage of you or manipulated you for. Make sure that you love yourself more than anyone, because it's you. Number 8, soak in as much uplifting, positive, motivational videos and audio messages as you can. There's so many motivational speakers that are out there online. Eric Thomas, Manuel Scott, Anthony Davis, Emmanuel Buson, myself, Justincredible. I can go on and on and on for days. Bishop T.D. Jakes. I mean, there's so many different people who it's on YouTube, social media, everywhere you go. You need to subscribe to certain channels that motivate you, that lift you up, that tell you positive things, because what you hear on a repetitious basis, that actually starts to affect what you believe. If all you're hearing is that you can get out of this, you're victorious, you are a champion, you can get through this pain, you can get through this difficult situation, you're beast mode. If you hear that on a regular basis, man, there's something that I can't describe what it does to your heart or what it does to your spirit internally when you hear it as much. So soak that in as much as possible. If it's movies that you like, if it's songs, motivational songs or audio messages, listen to that on a regular basis, man. Keep the negativity out, push the positivity in. And number 9, make sure that you are getting counseling, therapy, intervention, mentorship from a licensed professional. You have to break this stigma of feeling down or not going to a shrink or not going to a counselor or a mental health therapist. Your body, your mind is just as important as your body. Before you were even born, while you were still in your mother's womb, you've been seeing a doctor about your physical body and making sure that it's operating properly. You need to make sure, how many times have you saw a licensed professional about your mind and about your emotions and about your feelings and your moods, and making sure that you're not off the deep end, that you're not thinking crazy thoughts and you're not gonna harm yourself. The body always follows the mind. Your mind is so important. Even if your body is paralyzed and you cannot move, you can actually communicate, you can think, and you can actually make things happen while you're not even moving your physical body. Your mind is important. Make sure that you are talking to someone that is a professional. Break the stigmas. Who cares what people think from your neighborhood, your culture? It doesn't matter your race, your ethnicity, your religion. It doesn't matter your gender, the color of your skin. Get counseling, get therapy. I have a therapist. I have a counselor that I see on a regular basis because I care about my mind and I want to make sure that it's right for you all, for myself, for my future children. I want to make sure that I'm taking care of myself because I love myself. You have to love yourself, past all the stigmas, past all the stereotypes, past the crap that anyone says or anyone does not believe or whatever their faith teachings say. Make sure that you get a counselor or a therapist, especially if you're feeling feelings of deep depression, prolonged thoughts of suicide. I beg of you, I plead with you, I urge you, please do not do it. You have outlasted 100% of all of your bad days. Don't do it. I am praying for you. Please, please do not end your life. I love you. God loves you. There are so many people, your family, your friends, your coworkers. There's people that you don't even know that love you, that don't want to see you gone. Please, there is something special that you have to give to the world, that you have to give to someone else. Your life is not over. Make sure that you make the best of your life. If you know someone that is suffering from depression, please reach out to them. Please show them this video. Please share it with them. And call 911 if you need immediate help, if someone is really suffering from suicidal thoughts. I love you. Give me a call, shoot me a DM, shoot me an email if you need to. I love you. I'm always here for you. Jay Lang, we out, baby.